I'd like to speak about context. Context is the story behind the story. I'd like to use my son's passing as an example. I know I keep using that, but it's kind of the most figural thing in my life right now. And it's helping me work through these distinctions in quite a profound way. In terms of context, I can give you an example. When my son first passed, I was standing out in the front lawn looking around thinking, what have I done? Why am I the only woman in Newcastle, in southern Ontario, who's lost a son? Why am I the only woman in my neighborhood? Why is there 200 people at his funeral? No one here has lost a son. What have I done? That I've lost a son. And when I came in and listened to the news and realized that there were so many Palestinians, families who'd lost children, there are hundreds of people who'd lost their children, who were grieving in the same way that I was grieving. The context changed. I felt, okay, I'm not the first one in history who's lost a son. I'm not alone. People have survived this trauma before. Then, of course, in my anguish and spiritual quest, I went to my teacher, Ram Dass. And in his teachings and in my memory, he said a very profound thing to me. He told me that the matter and manner of Holden's death is his gift to me, is his soul's gift to me. Well, that's another completely different context, right? Like that's a whole other perspective of looking at something in the field that it's in. And then, of course, I came to the remembrance ceremony, and I began to consider that maybe, although Holden feels like he's gone in body, that he might still be here, that there might be more spirit to him than body. And so that while I feel like something is lost, and definitely I feel that, my ego feels the anguish of that, that maybe there's something more that I don't understand. Maybe there's some kind of context that's still emerging that I need to figure out. So that's what I've come up with in terms of context. What else can I say? Following the Remembrance Day ceremony, I came home and went to a bereavement group. And in the bereavement group, I realized it was a whole other context. These were people who'd lost their children and who were full on in their pain and anguish, working through the practicalities, like how they were going to deal with their clothing and their things, and how they were going to go get back to work and function, and a whole other scenario of processing this situation, a whole different context. So that's what I have to say about context.